Welcome back to Essick Farms. Today we're going to build a wooden grain bin inside the barn. So hit that thumbs up and we'll get started. So if you have animals on your farm, you have to have feed, and if you have feed, you have to have somewhere to put that feed. And you want to keep that place dry and out of the reach of animals, squirrels and mice and stuff like that. So I want to show you where I put my feed. So this is where I keep my feed now. This is a big box that I got from work. Got the custom made handle on it. And it's got the lip around it, so the lid closes in on it, keep the bugs and the mice out, keeps it dry. This is where I keep my goat feed and the feed that I grind up. And when we used to buy cow feed, I could stack like 22 bags in this thing, so it holds quite a bit. So since I started grinding my own feed, I have been planning and drawing out how to build a grain bin inside my barn. So I want to show you where I'm going to build it at. This is where I'm going to build a grain bin in the corner of the barn. First thing I'm going to do is take the floor up. And I'm gonna have 4x4s that goes down as the legs, set them on blocks. And I'm gonna cut out a hole in the second floor here. And it's gonna go up through the floor. And I'm gonna come on the outside here and build a door right here so I can swing that auger. It's gonna come over to be able to fill the bin up. So I got the hole cut in the floor. I measured it quite a few times because this is the one thing I did not want to mess up. And I cut it a little bit bigger than what I need, so that'll give me room to move around in there and adjust things. And once I get done, I'm gonna re-brace these floors, and I'll probably put a border around the box, anything that may be hanging over or whatever, and fix that. So the posts are in just temporary right now, just so I can measure where to cut. So we're gonna go down and set those. First pole is in. So I got the poles set. I'm really playing this by ear. So kind of wanting to check everything, make sure I got everything right, just so I don't mess anything up. So the next part I want to do is get the back of the grain bin on. So that way I can work off of it to see where my front posts need to go and everything off of that back. And what I got for the grain bin is 3/4 inch plywood. And what I did here was I got them as even as I could, and I screwed them together, and that way they won't move. And if you can see that pencil line, I got like a funnel. That's going to be where the grain is going to go down into this little part here where it'll funnel down. So that's why I screwed it together, so when I cut it, everything should be even and nothing should move. Okay, I've got it measured, and I've measured it about 3 or 4 times now just to make sure that everything's right. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Okay, we got it cut. Looks kind of like a boat. Okay, so we got that up. I put a brace down on the bottom. This board is bowed out this way a little bit, and at first I didn't like that, but I started thinking about it, and when I put feed in it, I guess it'll be able to flex a little bit, so that may be a good thing. So the next thing we're gonna do is work on the sides. So when I cut this next piece that goes down to the side, I'm gonna cut at an angle. So then the next part that goes down to where the hole is, I will cut that at an angle too, so that whenever they match up, it'll be like this. And that'll make a much better seal. So this part might not be too easy. I put a screw over here on the post, so I'm hoping I can pick this up, slide it in there, and let it sit on that screw until I get it into place to where I need it. So we'll find out. All right, so we'll let that sit there for a minute, and I gotta see if I can line everything up. So I got the other pole up, the two side pieces, and I Frankensteined the floor together. So now I'm gonna get the front piece and put it on. So this is what it looks like upstairs. Looks pretty good. I gotta fix this part up here, which I knew I was gonna have to do something along the sides too. Okay, back downstairs, we got the front part on. Put the brace across the front there. Now I just got to start getting the sides to put on and that bottom plate there. So I got this side done. Put the brace up, brace down there. I think it looks really good. And I got this side in place, but I'm not going to do anything yet because I got to work on the centerpiece next. So that'll be the next thing I do. It's coming along though. It's cold this morning. We're back working on the grain bin again, and I got ahead of myself when I put this one side up. So I had to come here and take it back down because I have to be able to fix the part that's in here on the bottom. And I think what I'm gonna do too is come across here with a board, like a triangle piece, that will go down to that hole and will funnel all the feed into that hole. So I want to build a ramp that's going to go down to the hole, that way the feed will be funneled down there. So I want to show you how I measure that, and if you're ever wanting to cut a piece like this. So I'm going to come across here, and that's going to be around 2 foot. Then I'm going to go from that down to the hole, which is around 2 foot. And then the bottom half down here will be around 9 inches. So I've got 2 foot this way, 2 foot that way, and 9 inches. So now I'll show you how to mark it on the board. So now we got the measurements. I want to show you how I mark the board. So we got our 2 foot at the top. Half a 2 foot is a foot. So I mark that in the center. And I come straight down to find the center here, 2 foot. Straight down from the middle, 2 foot. And then on the bottom half, I have 9 inches. So half of 9 is 4.5. So I go 4.5 on each side of that center line. Mark that. Then I go back to the top with the 2 foot and mark from the 2 foot down to where the 4.5 ends on each side. And that will give him my shape. Okay, so I got it to fit in there. I had to go back and cut a little bit. This bottom piece down here, I was trying to trim it up a little bit to make it fit a little tighter, and I cut too much off, so I had to go get a whole new piece for that. I trimmed this down a little bit more so it fits a little better around the corners. And I know you can still see a little sunlight, but I think once I tighten everything in, 'cause right now it's just sitting in there, but I think once I get everything tightened in, it should close all that up. I do have some wood putty just in case it don't, but so like I said, I'm just kind of playing this by ear, so there's going to be some trial and error, but I think everything's fitting together pretty good. So the grain bin is done. This is day 3 of working on it, which is actually week 3 because I've only had my Saturdays free to be able to work on it. So I have around $200 in this grain bin, buying the posts and the boards and the 2x4s and a box of screws. And it is 32 inches wide by 48 inches by 8 foot tall grain bin. Not sure how much it's going to hold. I do have my regular 500 pounds of corn and 200 pounds of supplements that I'm getting ready to grind up. So I'm curious to see where that's going to end up filling up to. You may notice too that I have some holes drilled in the front, which I kind of regret doing. I thought it was a good idea. What I was going to do was drill 2 holes, put plexiglass behind it, but I was going to cut out a slit so I could kind of see where the feed was going. But once I drilled the holes, I kind of regretted doing it, so I didn't even cut the slit in it. So I want to show you what the idea that I had come up with to be able to get the grain out. So this is what I come up with to get the grain out. Got these two rails here. Actually came out of our shower. I don't throw anything away because I know I can always reuse it for something. So that's what came out here. The board fits perfectly in there. I got two nails here for the stop. And then underneath, I have two screws back here that'll stop it. I drilled these out so I could put the screws up in there so they'll go flush with this. I also made this little loop on the floor too, so that way I can slide the bucket right in and it'll go right underneath the hole. I don't have to worry about trying to look around and figure out where to put the bucket. All right, so I put some feed in the bin. So we're just gonna do a little test run here and see how it works. All right, so I got the top on. And what I did was I went inside and put some 2x4s around and put the top in. That way it sticks down over that lip. So nothing's gonna get in that, no mice or anything. And I got the floor fixed. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I helped you if you're interested in building your own grain bin, maybe give you a few ideas on how to do it. I think it's really good to have a grain bin, especially if you buy feed in bulk or if you make your own feed like I do. It's good to have a good place to put it where mice and stuff like that can't get into it. So if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you next time here on the farm.